Technology.
Technology. So Robbie just turned 25. How you feeling?
Feeling like a quarter. 75 to go.
Yeah, you gonna make it to 100?
Yeah, I've already decided.
Hmm.
What if we jogged?
I don't think we're jogging, people.
No. Definitely not.
I think I heard it. I heard a quote. It was from a Casey Neistat video.
Oh.
Casey himself, he wasn't the one saying it. It was the quote he was saying. I don't know who the actual quote author is, but
Okay.
it was something about life looks a lot different on the way out versus how it looked on the way in.
Oh.
Something like that.
Oh, I like that.
Like after you've hit a certain point, like when you've got fewer years ahead of you. Wait. Yeah, when you've got fewer years ahead of you than you do behind you. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense. What was Cameron saying last night? Something where, like, looking back, you've got more to, like, go off of. Like, when you're younger, you can't really look to the past. You can only look to the future.
The older you get, the more past you have that you can dive back into. So
Yes.
the easier you can get sucked into the past.
And he was saying that maybe I feel weird is because I have, like, two ways to look now. It's, like, getting to the point where I can look pretty deeply both ways, but still pretty far into the future, I'd say. At least I hope.
Yeah. I had that thought last year, I think. Or I think in my, like, identity crisis year, like, I think 2 years ago, where I had, like, the most pessimistic take on, like, man, the more you live, the more you just get sad about, like life before. Like, you make happy memories, and then you just get to be sad, nostalgic about them. And
Yeah.
it's like the more you live, the more of that you build up, and the worse it gets.
What a worldview to have.
It's a horrible worldview, and it's not true at all, because there's so much more to look forward to, and so many new experiences. You could do something new every day.
Today did feel like a fresh new day.
Did it?
A little bit, yeah. And tomorrow will feel also like a fresh new day.
That's the most you can hope for.
The world is a sandbox.
Kind of is, though.
Life simulator.
I'm in a constant... You were talking about it last night, about the whole going with the flow versus, like, resisting life.
Yeah.
I'm constantly flipping back and forth between those, because I wholeheartedly believe your world is whatever you make of it. Like, you can do whatever you want to do if you really go for it.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, I'm like, I should just go with the flow. Let life take me wherever. And I think both are equally valid, like, points. But I guess it just depends on the day.
Yes. I don't remember who I was talking to this about, but it should be some combination, right? Because there is some things you can't control, right? You just kind of go in the river of life.
Yeah.
And then resisting that current will be, I would say, somewhat unpleasant or make things really difficult. But the things you can control, you can manipulate and alter to your favor. And that's not in a negative sense, but like almost building the life you want, like building the current that you'd like to float down or something. I don't know.
Ooh, I like that.
You know?
I like
It's
mending those two things.
Try to mend it together, because there is things you can control, but then also there are moments...
There's a lot out of your control, and you
There
can't
is.
worry about those things.
No, you can't.
That's one of the biggest lessons my parents put onto me, I think. Specifically, my dad hammered that shit into my, like, 10-year-old, like, fetus brain.
Oh, really?
You can't worry about things you can't control, son. Like, don't worry about them. What's the point? I'm glad I got that early.
Yeah.
I think it defines a lot of who I am today.
I think that's incredibly valuable, because There was a year, maybe this simultaneously when you were having a identity crisis, I was having like a control crisis. I'm like, I need to control everything and every outcome.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. Yeah, I do think. Well, I mean, I think more now that my brain's done developing.
Oh yeah,
It's
did
done
it like click
cooking.
today? The
Yeah,
final piece
it
of
finally
your frontal
did.
lobe, like
Yeah, it like it locked in,
Yeah.
and it said, progress complete. And I understand.
life transition from gameplay from cutscene to gameplay.
Now I'm excited to go to bed by 9 p.m. and pay my taxes.
That you understand.
I don't know. Just understanding a lot more things I didn't understand before. And that's very broad, but yeah, I just kind of see a lot of choice in front of me now. Like going off the thing we were just talking about, how like there is certain things you can't control. And then also you said like you could really do whatever you want. I feel like it's becoming more and more evident that that's very much the case. And I'm trying to lean more into the excitement of that versus the like being overwhelmed with choice.
Drunk with options.
Drunk with options, the illusion of choice.
The threshold of option. Wow, look at that.
I know.
Look at that guy up there.
How do we commodify this? No way this can be free.
How do we charge people for this? I gotta figure out how to make money off of this. It's just too good.
I guess they're at the point where they just don't mow this anymore.
I think they just mow it like once a year.
Mm.
Mow it, pick up all the needles and condoms and...
Not that area though. There's still a crime scene over there, and the city of Austin refuses to believe me.
You've told them?
I've reported it to the police department, and they said they'll send a guy. And I'm like, I didn't tell you where it was. And they said, I'll send a guy. And now there's just a left crime scene over there that anybody can go and look at. But,
Is that so?
I think it is. None of the items are necessarily illegal, but all of them together are a bit suspicious.
They paint a damning picture.
That they do. I won't elaborate what I saw, but go look for yourself. Do you still care what people think of you?
I'd like to think that I don't. But I do.
Me too, until it's time to post on Instagram, and I'm like, damn it, they're all watching.
No, I know. I think for the most part, I don't. I lean on the side of not caring, but I do sometimes, especially if it's me sharing something. Like this morning, I needed you to tell me to post the video before I posted that video. I wouldn't have posted it otherwise.
Yeah, I was surprised about it. I'm like, I feel like I've posted worse things than this. This is an obvious post.
But it's scary.
It is.
Nobody cares though. Think about how much you.
Who are you performing for? What party are you throwing for one girl?
Damn.
Mr. Gatsby.
It's definitely a girl targeted video for sure.
Yeah.
It's an intimate look at my life more. But it's also targeted at the other artists that I know.
Yeah.
Just a little ping I'm still here. I'm still making things. Parker keeps putting out banger after banger on his story and I'm like, oh, it's so good. Why am I not making things?
You just did that to someone this morning. You just ruined someone's day.
You're right. Well, maybe they make something now. I think
Yeah.
I love how art is contagious in that way.
It is.
I honestly, I'm super competitive, right? I feel like the only reason I made films in high school was because there was someone I didn't really like also making films. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Competition.
I kind of thrive on that, and I need that. And I don't have like a competitor directly now, but whenever I see friends making things, I'm like, ooh, I need to be making things, which is good.
Are you motivated through
Ooh.
art?
Are you gonna do intrinsic versus like
No,
what's the other one?
we can get to that, but I don't
Yeah.
know what that was gonna be. I was gonna ask, like, are you motivated to create art more by competition or a muse?
Ooh. Competition. I don't really have a muse. The muse is myself, to be honest. I make myself a character that I then make a muse. I think Bo Burnham does that shit too. You look at Inside, and it's like, that's him. But that's not him.
Yeah, like,
you
he's
know?
not really like that, but like he kind of is.
Yeah.
It's an exaggerated version of it.
Yeah, it stems from him, but it's still a performance. It's still an artistic rendering of a person. It's not like an actual person.
Yeah.
So in that way, yeah, I think I kind of make myself a muse.
What were you gonna get at? Intrinsic.
Intrinsic versus, it's not extrinsic.
I was gonna say extrinsic. Extrinsic.
But it's like it's either it's making art or making something for your own value you get out of it, or for the views it gets and other people's value. Like, do you ascribe value to your art because other people are saying it's really good, or because you yourself just know it's good and think it's good?
Oh. What do you have an answer for that for yourself?
I'm intrinsic for sure.
As in, you'd make it just to make it?
Yeah.
I think that's
I
the
don't
way
really
to do
care.
it.
I don't care how many views my stuff gets. I care a little bit, but I don't really care. Like, the others care way more about how many views Subletter gets. I don't really care. I just like that we got to make it and it's out there, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I have so many friends who, I think it's a thing where people make one YouTube video, they release it, it gets 12 views, and then they quit because they're like, it's worthless. What's the point of this? Where that video should still be a celebration because you made something.
Absolutely. That's kind of like me with the podcast. Like, I was surprised that the Schrader one got as many views as it got.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted to do it because it was fun, and I just, like, wanted to talk about that. Yeah, it should be, like, because then you're, like, at the will of the people with your art, if you're controlled by views.
Yes.
Which I don't think art is, like, should be a democracy like that. It should just be what the artist wants to do. I think that's what the book I'm reading says about.
What book are you reading?
Damn it, what's it called? This is embarrassing. The one by
This is embarrassing. One-on-one conversation.
the
the
Act.
producer?
Yeah,
Oh, the Creative Act. Okay.
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin.
That guy's cool looking. I wouldn't be upset if I looked like him someday.
Honestly, yeah.
As long as I was as cool as him.
Intrinsic motivation.
No, but he was saying how, like, the art must be, like he's, like, big on, like, you should not care what, like, others think. And, you know, assume that there are 0 watchers.
Yeah.
That's not a direct quote, but he seems to, like, drill in that point a lot.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. It's the only way to make things that are really good.
Do you know any artist that does it extrinsically, whatever the opposite of intrinsic?
I mean, you look at any big budget Hollywood film, any superhero movie, where they're like pandering to a commercial audience and they're making it for that. There's very little artistic merit in those because they're, you know.
Would you say there's any that are good that follow that
Oh, I'm
philosophy?
sure, yeah. I mean, I liked Endgame. I liked Infinity War. It's just a different kind of thing than what I'm trying to make. I think for a
Yeah.
small person, like for any average person trying to make something, you have to adopt intrinsic value in your work because that's the only way to get it off the ground. Because no one's gonna... Who's watching this?
No one. Except us in 10 years.
Exactly. That's who I make stuff for. I make stuff for my kids to watch.
Do you think our children will be friends?
Probably.
We have to, like, force it.
We do. I like the idea of FaceTiming while running. Yeah, we gotta plan that shit. Fuck, dude. Ricardo's gonna get a head start.
No!
He better wait. He better wait.
That means his kids are gonna be older and they're gonna like control our kids.
No.
And like they're gonna have the like commanding word.
No, we gotta make sure he doesn't get a head start. I don't think they're trying. I feel like they'd be smart. I'm gonna have to talk with him about that.
Talking to. Listen.
Listen,
We've decided.
If our kids are gonna be in a band together, they've got to be at least within 2 years of each other.
Absolutely. And I have no current prospects. So please be patient.
Holy shit, do this. Wow. Both of our throats get slit. I used to be like worried about that.
I had cousins that would like you'd look up and they'd hit you in the so I always got weird looking
That's
up.
the worst.
Wow.
This shade of blue right here in between the orange and gray is probably the best color.
Yeah.
God, look at how they're all divided. This like yellowish gray at the very bottom, then the gray line across, then that blue, then the orange.
It's like a sky blue with like sunset orange. But like what am I trying to say? I enjoy the depth of it. You know, I've probably eaten Red Lobster every birthday for the past 15 years.
Really?
I'm not even joking. That's a direct fact. At least once. You know, with someone. I've kept their business afloat.
Interesting. Red Lobster.
Yeah.
I still like. It's not even a good film idea, I don't think, because it's a fun concept. You remember the idea about like, it's like a group of friends go to Red Lobster, and then whenever they get back home, everyone's surprised to see them, and it's been 15 years, and they were reported missing 15 years ago, and no, like, they haven't aged at all, but the world's like going on.
Have we thought of that?
Yeah.
Just like probably waiting for a table.
I
at
talked
Red
about that
Lobster.
idea in a high school. I don't know where you go from there in the story, but I
Yeah.
like that being an inciting incident that somehow, like, something fucked happened.
You know, dude, what's it? The Percy Jackson series? There's like a scene where they're on the island of the Lotus Eaters. It's the cheese biscuits eating a Red Lobster.
Yeah.
It's like, yo. And then you're there for 15 years.
Yeah, you get it, but like it feels like you were out for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Your parents hug you. Your mom's crying. There's like wrinkles on her face.
Meanwhile, you're still full from the last bit of lobster bisque you just drank.
You're still 14 years old.
Jeez, I kind of wish I skipped over 14. A gross age to be alive.
Jesus, what a gross age.
It should be a crime to be 14.
That sucked. I straightened my hair, man.
I spiked my hair. I'm no better.
Down so bad, I straightened my hair.
Got to have been like 10 dogs that have walked behind.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen this many people out here.
Pay the toll. So, what do you think about turning 25? That you're like right around the corner.
I'm excited. I'm excited for mid-late 20s. Honestly, I'm excited for all the new upcoming ages.
You seem mentally older, like mentally in your like later 20s.
Do
At least
I?
want to be.
Yeah, I want to be.
You frequent nice bars like a 28-year-old.
Yeah, dude. Because I want to be, dude. Girls our age want 28-year-old men. That's the problem. I can't wait till I'm 27 so I can date a 24-year-old and it really work out.
That's true. He's right, you know.
I'm just saying. I feel like that's the pattern I see everywhere.
Where dudes are like 28, 29, and then they're with a 24-year-old.
Yeah. Like most of the broads I've been speaking to have like been with older guys. Cause just, I don't know. And I want more disposable income to like frequent nice bars. I just like the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Buying a $15 drink every now and then, you know.
yeah. Oh,
You know, I like to think about like the girls that go for the older guys. They're like 30 and they're like our age. And they're like, oh, it's more figured out, right? But then I look at like I knew like an 18-year-old that would like date a 24, 25-year-old, which is where I'm at now, and I'm like, I'm just like this. Like,
yeah.
what are they looking for? Like, I'm not all like, I don't know.
You are though. You're more figured out.
Well, for sure, more than when I was an 18, but
Yeah. Just turned 18. Yeah, I think I've gotten over like the whole like getting older thing though. I'm looking forward to all the new ages. I feel like turning 23 was the worst.
23 kind of sucked.
Yeah. Universally bad experience for everybody I've talked to. 24 though, I feel like I got over things. And now 25 I'm excited for. 27 is going to be the best. 36 is going to be the best, actually. I've talked to you about
Yeah.
36, haven't I?
No, you haven't. That's so random.
Whenever they ask people on their deathbeds. It might be 38, actually. Somewhere in your late 30s. Whenever they ask people on their deathbeds, like, what the best age was, what if they could return to any age.
On average, they say like 36, 38.
Mhm.
Interesting.
It's because that's the point in your life when you have, like, the most responsibilities, the most impact. Your career's probably really taking off. You also have young kids in the house, you know, probably. Or, like, I don't know. Not young kids, but, like, your kids are, like, 10 to, like...
Depending on when you have them.
Yeah.
6,
But
7.
It's just you're the most busy, so many responsibilities, but humans love having responsibilities and love feeling... They get purpose from that. It's like how, you know, you talk about your dad, like, he's in this, like, successful position now. But then he talk about, like, oh, the golden age is when we were, like, building the company from nothing and, like
yeah.
Those times were hard. Our times at Creator Camp are hard, but it's going to be the same shit. Where whenever Creator Camp's really flying and there's actually, like, nothing we do and it's just snowballing on its own, we're going to be like, damn. Remember year 3? Remember year 4?
Yeah.
We were on the ground doing stuff.
I mean, I'm already kind of like that. Like, the second year, 2022.
I missed the second year was so good.
Awesome. But also, I look back and I was the most stressed I've ever been in my life. I was, like, crumbling mentally.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it sure was fun. Like there. But, like, looking back, I'm like, I was in hell. Like,
Yeah.
this was horrible.
If you look back at it in reality, yeah. But, I don't know. Oh, the orange show's ended. It's like we're facing the way the Earth is turning right now.
We're, like, captaining the ship of the
Yeah.
Earth.